Hey, Sima.
Hi.
So we're here. This is the second Wednesday, and we decided to change the name of the podcast. Since this is our only second episode, we're going to make this change now.
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Ink Post.
That's the new name. The Ink Post. Where's the...
I love that. All right, so we just had our Memorial Day weekend. How was your weekend?
It was really fun. I did not leave the pool. I stayed in the pool all day.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous. I don't have a pool. So no pool for me.
Yeah.
I think my highlight was making marshmallows with you last night.
Yeah, they turned out really, really good.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
And I think our Memorial Day sale went really well.
Yeah, let's give it up for that. I love this thing.
Me too. Thanks to our customers for making it.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
For sure.
Thank you guys so much for supporting our company and buying our products and courses and leaving great reviews. And I mean, it's a community. It feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
come closer.
Hello.
Yeah, let me bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like you sound way better than I do.
Yeah.
It's
a little tight, but okay. Just bring it close.
Yeah, I think this is
perfect.
Much better.
Yes.
Thanks for that. Okay, so yeah, we did our Memorial Day sale. We released our new summer bundles. Yeah. I think we should tell them a little bit about that. They're going to be on sale probably this summer. I think we might deactivate them around the winter, but we basically made a summer bundle to give people motivation in the summer to actually buy a course and practice if they need to, because I feel like the summertime is when people want to have fun
and relax.
Yeah. But I feel like sometimes when you're trying to push through and you're starting your career and you're still learning, you need that extra motivation to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely relax and still enjoy your time, but
yeah, what does it come with, the kit, the bundle?
So the bundle is basically a really good deal on the kit and the course. So the Tiny Tattoo bundle actually includes our new skins that we're going to talk about later in this episode that just dropped. And yeah, it comes with a Tiny Tattoo kit, the Tiny Tattoo course, and the new skins. So you're going to get, how many skins would that be? 8? No, more.
It was 14, I think. When we counted, right?
Is that the nano or the Tiny Tattoo?
The Tiny Tattoo. I think it's a Tiny Tattoo.
I think it comes with 4 and then 4 colors. Yeah, it's 4, 4, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
How much is that?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's 12.
But then I think why
2 line work too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it is 14.
Yes.
Wow, you guys get 14 skins in the kit. No one does that.
Nobody.
Which is...
And they're quality. So, I mean, you can get a value deal, but usually it's not good. But this is good stuff.
No, it really is. Yeah. And, the best part is seeing people's work. When they submit their work in our DMs. Sure.
Yeah, I love when I see people tagging us in their stories or in their posts and just giving us a progress update.
No, seriously. It's so genuine, too.
Right.
I love when coaches buy it for their students.
Oh, yeah. That's really satisfying. When people buy it for their shop, for their apprentices to practice on. It's reassuring.
Yeah. And, even, too, I notice, trainers will get them for their course. Because, some people will, permanent makeup training or, tattoo training, sometimes they'll have students. And they'll buy the skins for the entire class, and it helps them out with, hosting their class in an organized way.
Yeah.
I think, too, as an instructor myself, it makes it a little bit easier for me to tell a student, hey, finish this whole sheet, and I already know what's printed on there.
Yeah.
So I know what they're going to be practicing, because sometimes, in the past, before we had the printed skins, I would be give me a whole silicone sheet, and they would submit stuff that... they'd they just fill the sheet up with designs that I don't think help them progress as much.
Yeah, it'd be stick figures and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
not good designs.
You can scribble at the beginning of your practice to get used to your machine and get used to how to use your machine. So yeah, like scribbling is fine like the first 2 times, but don't submit it.
Right. Yeah. I just feel like it gives like the instructor, the mentor, like whoever's teaching them like a guideline. Like it's so much easier to say, give me this whole sheet, knowing that they're gonna have to shade, they're gonna have to use different like line weights because the design like calls for that. I will say though, like what I'm really excited about with our new skins is that they are blank on the back.
Yeah.
And they're thick enough to where you can tattoo both sides like super comfortably. And so a lot of our students would be like, you know, placing the stencil is such an important skill. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm skipping that. And it's like nice to have it on there because it's like the training wheels. And then once you're ready and you feel like you can tattoo your own design really nice, you could just flip the silicone sheet over, place your own design, and then like challenge yourself that way. So you feel like you're, I don't know, like evolving. I don't know. It's the whole process is satisfying to me.
Yeah. Me too.
I think today, we're just going to talk about like the skins and like how we went from basically latex to thinner silicone skins, and now we have the thinner silicone skins, and then we have the thicker silicone skins that we just launched last week, and just kind of like give everybody a detailed rundown of when to use what and what to avoid completely, because there's a lot of silicone skins on the market that are so crappy. And like in the beginning, like 2 years ago, before we had any products like this, we would get samples from different manufacturers and like try to work with different factories and like try to see who makes the best skins. And then like we even did our own experimentation with like what does what. And I did not know so much goes into like making skin.
Yeah. And yeah, it seems like we got it right though, because they're very, I would say it's one of the higher quality skins
Absolutely.
on the market.
And I wonder if we have any of our latex skins in the studio.
We do.
I really want to show them the difference between our silicone and like latex, because I think a lot of people, especially in the permanent makeup industry, are still practicing on latex.
We have latex, we have the old thinner skins, silicone skins, and we have the thicker skins. Do you want me to bring them out?
Yeah, you can bring them out and I'll keep chit-chatting.
All right, keep them busy.
Yeah, Seema's gonna grab some of the skins. I really want to like show them to you guys because I don't know, it's such an evolution, and I feel like just kind of touching them and like feeling them and showing them, you guys can really understand what we're talking about. And I think the coolest part about making silicone skins is like playing with the softness and the hardness of each skin. Oh, you got everything. That's so cool. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys the very, very, very first printed skin we came out with. And these were so hot. Like when we came out with these, they were like, I don't know. What do they call? What do they call like a product that like exploded the market? A hot seller? I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely raved about a little bit.
Yeah, but then like we also would get a lot of not good feedback.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and we were like, we have to do something about this because people love the concept. They love the idea.
The execution wasn't as good though.
Yeah, because it was our first time.
Yeah.
So I think I'll open this for you guys.
ASMR.
So, and this was the standard too at the time, like especially in the permanent makeup industry. Like latex was the standard, and it feels very chalky.
Yeah.
You know. And so we printed these tattoo designs on them, and they helped a lot of people. Like even with this low quality, I remember getting a lot of submissions saying like, hey, these help me so much. You know, I feel like I can get different curves, stuff like that. The very biggest problem was that they just didn't wipe right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think they're just a little bit too thin.
Yeah, they were thin and they didn't wipe right, but we thought that, you know, this was comparable to what's on the market, and sadly it still is, even 2 years later.
Yeah.
Like it really still is. Like I see so many companies that are pretty reputable that are still selling rubber latex. And I want to show you like a really good example of basically rubber latex. Okay, do you remember going to art school and playing with those kneaded erasers?
Yeah.
Basically, it's the same material. It's just baked differently.
Yeah.
So, isn't that sick? It's basically a kneaded eraser. So it's like literally made out of rubber.
Ooh. Oh, God.
And you can like literally rip it. You could chew it. It's like a dog toy.
You could chew it.
Yeah. So it doesn't really stretch. Like it rips when it stretches. And so that's why you want to completely avoid practicing on latex because it's not a good
representation
of skin at all.
Yeah.
It's very chalky and like it's not good quality. Like it's very rippable and there's not much like air. What do I say? Like with the silicone skin, we can control how much silicone and how much empty is in there.
Yeah, like the
softness or hardness
the density
of it.
Yes. The density of it.
Yes.
Like the
I think the density is a good word. Because okay, like our new skins are way more dense and hard and thicker because we wanted to like appeal to a more advanced artist that wanted to like show off their work on the back and practice their shading. We also wanted them to be a little bit easier to tattoo. But then with the first silicone skins, they're a little bit thinner, and we did get a lot of complaints about that, but we didn't take any of it to heart.
This one's a second.
Oh, yeah, the second. We didn't take any of it to heart because we know that our students are practicing their depth.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like practicing your depth is such a good thing to do, and it's so necessary because I feel like a lot of tattoo shops, you'll go, like, you've gone to many tattoo shops where, like, they'll literally, like, ride the tube. They'll stick a little bit out. They don't know how to measure depth.
They, like, ink blast your skin.
Yeah, and, like, you get blown out tattoos, and I feel like it's very common.
It is. And, yeah. But
I also think that comes, like, my personal rationale, and I think it's valid, is that I think that comes from practicing on 3mm skin. Like, because that's the only thing that was available.
The good thing about the second skins we came out with is that you can tell if you're going too deep because you could see it on the back.
Exactly. And it's like when we first started, I feel like there was this and there was this.
Right.
There was nothing in between. Either you're practicing on super thick silicone or you're practicing on super thin rubber.
Yeah.
And I feel like a thin, stretchy silicone skin like this one. Okay, ASMR again. I'm going to open this. We can attach this video to Spotify, right? I think we do have an episode. The first episode has a video. So I think we could do that.
Okay.
So this one, this is my favorite texture, by the way. Out of everything we've ever made, I think I love this one because it is really so good for beginners. The new ones we came out is great for beginners too, but it's a little bit more, I would say, for advanced beginners that already have their depth down. I don't think you can really measure your depth when the thing is too thick. This one, you should not be tattooing through this. Like, even with this being, I think it's 1.2 or 1.5, something like that. I think it's 1.5. Even with that, like, you should not be piercing through this.
No.
And I feel like if you are, like, you're probably going too deep.
And you know, I've tattooed those before, and it's kind of hard to just go all the way through. You kind of know that it's wrong. It feels wrong.
It feels wrong, yeah. And what I like about these is that they are very stretchy. They're very soft. So you have to actually practice your stretch. So you're not only practicing your depth, you're practicing your stretch. And I think they go hand in hand. Because I think that it's like a skill that basically, like, let's say you're tattooing around the elbow and you don't have to stretch it that much. You already know you got to come out the skin a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go as deep. But let's say, like, you're tattooing
the thigh,
right? And you have to stretch a ton. You can't be too shallow. So I feel like these skins get you in the habit of thinking about stuff like that, especially when you're, like, tattooing around the edges and it starts to kind of... These will bounce like the skin, which is really nice because I feel like with our thicker skins that are more like the standard expectation of a lot of tattoo artists, they're great, but they're not going to bounce. And I feel like skin will bounce.
Yeah. Another great thing about the second skins that we came out with, you can put stuff under it like paper towels and make a texture of yourself. And the paper towels will also like kind of replicate how
like fat tissue, muscle tissue underneath. Yeah.
So you can actually, put like a part of it like elevated and then some of it kind of thin so you could practice like how to go.
Because the body like doesn't stay like a paper at all. And
even
I feel like
even your forearm, like it's different sizes all around.
Yeah. And you have to like tattoo according to the curve.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good point with the stretchable skins. I mean, I love these for beginners, especially the line work one. And then for the thicker one, what I like the most about it is that it doesn't require stretching and it doesn't require, taking too much notice of your depth. So if you wanted to create like a really nice piece of art, you can do it in half the time. But this one will like challenge you. This is like working on a regular person. It'll take you the same amount of time as a person. Where like this one is like, let's say you wanted to tattoo something and you wanted to gift it to a friend or like, I don't know, hang it, or you wanted to tattoo something that you can like show off and like post on your Instagram, or you already know what to do. You just want to do it on fake skin. I feel like this is great for that too. Yeah. And like we added a lot more shading opportunities in the design.
Yes. I think we also made the designs a little bit more unisex. Just so that we can also have, the male audience practicing and,
Yeah, I feel like our first designs like didn't relate to every single person. Like it was more because I started off as a permanent makeup artist, right? And then I switched into body tattooing, and then I switched into nano brows. So I think I personally had a lot more female following and like female support in the beginning. But now it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I feel like we're helping everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to like appeal to everybody, because we were getting some like, oh, I wish you guys had like, a variation of designs and stuff like that.
They were attracted to the line work. I think that's what really reeled them in. They were attracted to the idea of like simple, basic shapes and lines that, are fundamental.
And they're really challenging too. Like, I don't know, the circles in that and the triangles in that is like hard, because it challenges you. Like, for example, with a triangle, it'll challenge you to like meet two lines at the same point. And it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as easy. And then with the circle too, like being able to go in a circle and not show any like signs of, taking off your needle, putting it back in. Even these little, like, I call them shark fins. Those are great for nano and like PMU.
Yeah.
But also like in a lot of tattoo designs, you have to do a little cool curves like that. And I feel like one of the biggest things for beginners is that they're stiff-handed in the beginning. And I feel like doing a tiny little slight curve like that will challenge your stiffness. Yeah, I think too the wheel is underrated with just like practicing your whip shading and like your filling and your gradients. It's super essential. And like what I love the most though about this version is that it's kind of hard to tattoo. Like the worst thing for me is when we would get people basically tattooing the latex, or like people buying other brands. And they would say, how come their brand is so much easier to tattoo? Yours is not easy to tattoo. And I'm like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, skin's not easy to tattoo. Like, it will bounce. It does have different textures. You're not supposed to go that deep. And there is more than just, like, a hard silicone is so different than flesh, because flesh has, like, lymph and water and, like, all this different stuff underneath the skin. And it's like, how can you compare that to such a hard substance like hard 3mm silicone?
Right.
So, like, I don't know, like, tattooing is not easy.
Yeah, you can also tell if you blow your line out with them, because it will actually create a blue halo around it.
Yeah.
And that, I've never seen that before.
No, I've never seen that before either. And I think we tried to do that with, like, keeping them not so dense.
Yeah.
So the ink will actually spread between the silicone
porous.
part of... Yes.
The silicone itself is porous, so it does act like how your skin is. Yeah.
Except there's just no fluid.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we stuffed it with water somehow, it'd be so cool because it would really feel like skin at that point. You know, and like, I think the part too that people don't like measure correctly is when they're tattooing and they draw a line in the beginning and they're like, how come when you tattoo and you draw a line is there? Mm-hmm. But then when I tattoo and I wipe off the ink, there's no line. Mm. And it's like, well, you didn't stretch and like your hand isn't used to it yet. And there's a lot of reasons why that's happening, especially with nano. I feel like or fine line tattooing. That's one of the people's biggest problems, like the people just starting out, is that they can't see their line and then they get discouraged and then they think it's our skin. But that's really what would happen on a person.
I mean, I think 9 times out of 10, it's their like hand to machine speed ratio. You know, if it's too slow or too fast, you're not going to get a perfect line. You know, it all depends on skill, because even you can tattoo bad latex. I feel like even you can.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain level, you can tattoo anything.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, like, as long as you practice, the materials become less and less important. But,
like, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like, a professional will be able to like touch the material they're about to tattoo and think, okay, like they just automatically in an unexplainable process just be able to know like
exactly
this is how it's going to work for this.
Yeah. So to say that a high quality product is not tattooable, you know, it's kind of a skill issue.
Yeah, because we've had that too. Like with I remember one time we got this review and I thought it was really funny. She's like, even my mentor tried to tattoo these and she ripped them all apart. And I'm like, why are you ripping like things like that? What like if you're great? I've seen people tattoo, like there's this one practice that a lot of permanent makeup artists do is like practicing on a balloon.
Yeah.
Because they would tattoo the balloon, and if you go too deep, it'll pop. Even, like, barbers practice on balloons, too, like, with the razor. Yeah. They'll kind of shave it, and then if the balloon pops, then you would that means you cut the person. Yeah. So I feel like if you have people out there, like, tattooing balloons so gently, and it's obviously a skill, if you're still inserting the pigment, like, you can see the ink on the balloon. Like, it's...
How do they tattoo the balloon? Do they, like, put a piece of latex over
No, dude, it's a balloon, and you're not going deep enough to pop it.
Huh.
Literally. And you're creating beautiful pixels.
Even though the needle is just going through.
Yes. And it doesn't pop. I know.
They're going, like, very... above the surface.
Yes. Okay. And it's like a I would say it's a permanent makeup technique, but you can whip shade like that too. I mean, I don't know, I've never done that practice, but I'm just comparing, like, if there's a person out there who can whip shade a freaking balloon, and then you're out there like ripping a piece of silicone up, like then
makes sense.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Like, I just feel like if you're like a master and like no one is like has no room to grow. We all have room to grow, but at the same time, like, you shouldn't be ripping up things.
No, because, like, what are you doing to your clients is what I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, and it becomes, like, kind of hard to reply to messages like that. Like, oh, like, I wonder why your mentor did that with their machine. Because, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, it's art. Yeah. And it's, like, these people are working people. So it's, like, we're just trying to, like, make good quality printed latex. And I feel like at that point becomes, especially if they're not in our course or anything, I feel like it's not in our place to be like, hey, you know, you suck or you don't.
Right.
So we just kind of be like, you know, I mean, a lot of people are having success with it, but, you know, yeah, well, I mean, I'm just so happy that we have 3 different versions of this skin now. Well, this one's discontinued. Like, we completely discontinued this as soon as we came out with the second version. We figured everything out. This one, like, I don't even know what we did with it.
Well, we just have a few laying around, but we're not selling any.
I mean, I think we sold most of them. Yeah. And then we just never reordered. And I think we have boxes of them laying around somewhere. Yeah. That I don't even know. We could probably, like, turn them into raw material, make erasers out of them or something. Because right now they're
Can
just
you
sitting there.
recycle that?
I think so. I think rubber latex is recyclable. I mean, it's rubber. It's literally rubber. Okay. Yeah, you could probably use it as an eraser. This will erase.
Can I feel that?
Yeah. It's like
I kind of want to like give you guys this. This is what it like from the sound of it. This is what it like feels like so powdery.
Wait, can I show them what the other one sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay, this one kind of sounds like this. Oh, this one, because my hand has powder.
Rub your hands on.
Okay, hold on. I don't know. It doesn't.
Put it in front of the mic here. No, not under.
You do it. You do it. I'm not good at ASMR.
I mean, it sound. Well, I just think you got it a little powdery, but this is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and what about this one? Does it? Yeah, they all kind of sound the same, dude.
This one just feels.
That one just feels super chalky.
But it sounds more chalky.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Does. All right. Well, let's see. I think we covered everything. I'm trying to look over my notes here that I wrote for this episode. We talked about the differences between our skin lines. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention? That there's okay, so let's say like you got a ton of plain silicones, right? And you're ready to practice and you have your stencil. A lot of the time you need to wait 24 hours like for the stencil to dry before you can tattoo the silicone. So I feel like that process then kind of slows down your practicing. I mean, it's how we've always done it. So I'm not going to put that down at all. But I feel like, let's say you're like at the shop and let's say you weren't planning on practicing and your client canceled.
Yeah.
If you have something that already is printed, that's just like, even if it's just lines or something, then you can just go ahead and like start practicing.
Yeah. It's like, and maybe like if you don't even have a design idea in your head and you just want to like get your creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
Like you can practice on one of the designs and maybe it'll help you come up with something for your client even.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think too, like as a mentor, I love to tell like my apprentice or anybody that, you know, is looking for help, like, hey, I think you should do this design because I know what that entails.
Yeah.
Like as a person directing, you want to be able to have the authority to be like, you should tattoo something like this. And I feel like a lot of times I've done that with just giving them a blank silicone because art is so like vast. They would come up with a completely different idea and then tattoo that. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I was talking about. So I feel like it kind of clears the communication error between student and mentor too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I think those are some of the points that I forgot to bring up that I wanted to bring up. Yeah, and I think that's about it. I think we talked about the skins. It was fun. I think on the next episode, I think we're talking about team building. Like
team building.
Yeah, like what it feels like, what it means, culture, tattoo culture, shop culture.
Yeah.
Just basically how to have a healthy environment and like what are our thoughts on basically tattoo shop etiquette, culture, team, stuff like that should be.
Yeah.
And like how we set ours.
And it's important.
It's the most important. I tell everybody that works with us, like for me, I value culture above anything else. I think it's the most important thing at a shop because it makes sure that everybody's like liking going to work, the client's happy, everyone's safe, you're following like policies, you know. We'll talk more about it next Wednesday, but I think this episode was fun. I really wanted to tell you guys about Memorial Day and like everything we launched over this weekend and our new skins, our new bundles, and my marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was good. I always enjoy talking to you, Seymour. You know that. Me and Seymour are always hanging out. I think we do everything together.
It's true.
And I hope you guys enjoy listening to us.
Yeah. Yay.
I don't think we have like an official podcast page or anything, but if you ever want to chat with us, we have our personal Instagrams. Yep. Mine is Shay Al Saeed. It's just my Instagram. It's on the Beauty Institute bio, and then you can just go on the Beauty Institute Instagram. And if you send us a DM, both of us will read it, and she'll read it first, and then I will read it.
Yeah. My Instagram is Bemi with 10 M's. That's BEMMMMM.
You're crazy.
MM.
Sounds like a song.
Or was that 10 M's? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just know that it's 10, so keep a count. I don't know.
10 M's. Bet me with 10 M's. Oh my God, your rapper name should be 10 M's.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys next week on the officially new Ink Post.
Ink Post.
Ink Post.
All
Ink
right,
Post,
let's
Ink
end
Post.
it with this.